Hello, and welcome to episode 9 of the Shigutocast. I'm your host, Beast, and alongside us, as always, is Taupe. Today we have with us an icon of early Roblox, JAREDVALDEZ. Welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have you on. I'm not usually too talkative on these, but I have a lot of questions.
Yeah. This is your hosting podcast.
Yes. As someone from the earlier years, I'm super interested. So I feel like there's a lot of people who know your name but don't know why. So I'm just gonna try and give some background here. So from about 2009 to 2013, your name was completely unavoidable on you were kind of like a meme before there was memes. I think that's pretty fair to say. So obviously we want to talk a bit about, yeah, I know you're trying to get back into the platform a bit. I know you've had some experience working in cybersecurity now and information systems as well. You've got some other interesting things going on, but before we do, just to give some context for the people who aren't familiar with you, maybe we could just take a bit of a detour and list off some of the things that contributed to your infamy back in the earlier days. That'd be really awesome. So, if you don't mind, I want to lead us in strong with face blocks. Yeah, just correct me if I'm wrong on anything. But when you were 10 years old, you made a website called Face Blocks. It seemed like a pretty obvious merge between Facebook and Roblox.
You got confused with the
yeah, I know.
Facebook. They
like
stole
the
your
Spider-Man
idea.
meme. Like, which one's which?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the appeal seemed that players could stray away from chat censoring and not have their appearance reduced to virtual avatar, right? So I'm curious because I know you were making pretty considerable dollar off of this site. Like what's
$1,000.
Sorry?
It was a few $1,000s that I made from that website.
Oh my gosh. So like I'm curious, like what's the reaction of a parent when their 10-year-old son says, check out this website, it's got 10,000 people on it, and the ad revenue is starting to roll in.
My mom thought it was insane. She motivated me. She was like, just keep doing what you're doing and focus. And I really appreciated that in terms of the experience I got out of it. Like I learned CSS, which is a coding language. I also learned how to manage a social networking website. Maybe should have done better in terms of moderation. Yes, I didn't have enough revenue to hire people. I could have probably, but I don't know. I just didn't think of it. Like I couldn't have moderated 10,000 photos that were being uploaded almost every few days. Like, I didn't have any kind of AI or anything to analyze that. Like, it was just, that's a tedious task, and I didn't have time for that.
Okay. So like I don't even know if you can remember because this was so long ago, but do you think you could try and walk us through your approach to marketing the site? Because I mean, like you seem to have managed to go under the site's radar entirely for a few years at least. And I'm kind of curious how you're able to avoid detection for so long. Like were you being really careful with where you promoted it?
No, I was promoting my games. I would also put dialogues in terms of like t-shirts, gear. I would advertise, hey, go join this group, or hey, go join this website. It's a alternative, it's safe. It really was. But I just kind of lacked the moderation part, like I said, because I just didn't have time to moderate it, which why I took it down.
Oh man, that's nuts. Cause like, oh my gosh, I remember being 10 years old on Roblox, and my biggest concern was like how fast I can build to survive Drago Bloxers. Like, yo, bro, we got to get these things out of here, man. It's going hard on that.
That's by Papa Smurf. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, that was huge back in the day. But it's just like being that young and having or approaching something with that thought process is really unique. And I mean, of course, like to give a bit of a disclaimer, we're not endorsing any of this, and I don't think you stand behind much of it, but it is really interesting. So jumping forward just a bit, I do know that at the time that wasn't your only stream of revenue from the site. You were actually one of the first people to start trading limiteds for US dollars, which of course is strictly against Roblox's policies. But So that was actually what resulted in you having those accounts terminated. So I'm just wondering, like, what was the motivation for you as a middle schooler to like start all of these risky endeavors? Like, where did the drive come from for you? Was it just the money, or was there something else?
It was just a vision. Like, I think when you have a vision and a set, like, cohesive plan to execute that, I think you can do it. I think anybody can do it. It's a matter of persistence. Um, and I really was just, I don't know, I was wanting to like be a Mark Zuckerberg or whatever, Zuckerberg, and kind of do it like that. And I did in a way, not as, on the scale that he's got it, but I did do it in my own way.
So, is that where you drew your inspiration from for like the things that you did? Like
Well,
how'd you come up with the idea like I'm gonna trade this Roblox item for money?
oh, that was, I didn't know that was specifically like against the rules in terms of trading. I thought I owned the item, I could trade it, I could sell it, but
Sure.
yeah, it is against the rules. So
Yeah, because like this was back before the developer exchange, right? All we had were
yeah,
tickets, so you
hmm
couldn't actually make any real money on the site. It was all just virtual currency. So
yeah, and I needed to make money because I was, I wanted to buy things and
yeah, I wanted to make some nice purchases.
yeah,
I got you.
but they're making more money now, like tens of thousands of dollars a month. Some of these developers. So kudos to them. If I come back, cool. I know how to script and program a bit. And I actually have a version I'm working on, which I don't know when
Oh,
it'd be completed, but I have a few people working on it with me. Uh, I know
mm,
somebody remade it, which they did a really good job actually. But you know, I I took that game, the Undead Coming or the Infection, and I
oh
completely
yeah.
transformed it. I completely transformed it. So you could say copied it. Okay, I didn't give credit to the source code. Yes, Seth Pilot, but it was uncopy locked. So sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like back in the day, it was a lot more common for some of those larger places to be uncopy locked, quote unquote. That's not really a thing anymore, but that basically meant that anyone with an account could edit and publish their own copy of the game. So you would take those games, modify them a bit, and publish them as your own, right?
And it was allowed.
And it was allowed. Yeah, exactly. So I guess whether or not you think that's foul play is up to you, but I mean, it worked. Um, like in 2010, you were contending for the most place visits by one user, right?
Uh-huh. And that was what was it? The Builderman account with welcome to the one with the base plates and you could build on them.
Okay.
That one. And then Stickmaster Luke, which I was at about 55 million, I think, somewhere around there. And he was around there too. And we're about, I don't know, I think I had the highest actually at one point. Which is cool to say, like in the history.
Right.
Now,
I got you.
I don't think it really matters. I don't know who does. It's just billions,
Mm.
billions, and billions. It's a
So
lot.
you were neck and neck with the CEO.
Uh
Do
huh.
you think he was checking your page every day? Like, yo, this Jared guy, his numbers are
Yo, this
getting dangerous.
kid, he's getting up there. He's getting crazy competition.
Uh,
But I do know the forums. He was going on the forums and he would talk about it. Like, he would say, "You're good, but I'm better." And I would be like,
oh,
"You're just mad because I'm the new Air 92." Air
yeah,
92,
man.
he Row War.
People now don't get to experience the lawless lands that the forums were, because there were like Bazooki was on there, Shedletsky was in there talking smack all day.
Hmm
You know, you guys like we don't really get that immersion nowadays. But
Yeah.
yeah, I know you had like a lot of direct exchanges with their employees at the time when it was a lot smaller of a team.
Oh,
Um,
for
I
sure.
think Shedletsky actually complimented you a few times on your marketing abilities, right?
He's a cool guy. Yeah, he did. He complimented me on LinkedIn and then years ago too. He's a cool guy. Chicken. I always remember him in Chicken. Chicken in a chicken hat or something in his character. Do
Yeah.
you remember?
Oh yeah.
Chicken,
Yeah, I remember
fried
that.
chicken.
Did you know that Telemon is actually his alternate?
Yeah, I knew Talamon.
Oh, Beast didn't know that.
No, I did
Yeah, I
know
knew
that. It
that.
was Ray. It was Ray who didn't know that.
Oh, oh shoot, sorry.
I think.
Yeah.
Wait, was it
But
Ray?
someone didn't.
Yeah, it was Ray. It was
I
Ray. Didn't
knew
know
it.
Yeah,
that was-
that's like how people don't know that Infinite Effect is my alternate account.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
We might not want to release that information, Tope. Might have to
yeah,
cut that one out.
yeah. I'll leave that up to the editor. I don't know who that is, but
Oh well.
yeah, I actually read somewhere as well. It was hard to find information on this, but apparently you got booed at a Roblox game convention, which was like RDC back in the day. Were you present for that?
I wasn't, but there was probably taunting of me there. That's what I would assume.
Ooh,
If I ever showed my face, yeah, people would be like, "Wow!" Like it'd be crazy. Maybe after the virus, 2021.
yeah. I mean, do you have any interest in like getting into that community on a personal level? Like, would you attend one of those events in the future?
I think so. Maybe there's a chance of that. That just seems very interesting to go to a conference like that in California, where I love California. Have not been
I
to
got you.
San Mateo, where it is. It's on the other side, where LA on the opposite side,
Yeah,
California.
it's really beautiful.
I have not been there. What is that? San Francisco. Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to go there.
the venue they were planning on this year was so nice. It's a shame, but yeah, you should definitely go. I think you'd have a warm reception. Like it's been long enough now. You're just kind of like you're more beloved than hated, I think. Like I don't know if you guys have seen maybe Beast because you're such a big Star Wars fan. Hayden
Oh,
Christensen at the Star Wars whatever it's called, the big fan convention. You know, that guy got memed on hard for like 5 years,
yeah.
but when he shows his face, it's a whole different story.
Oh,
Like,
because
yo,
they love him now. They love him now.
yeah, exactly. You gotta love him. I think Jared Valdez is kind of the same.
Interesting. We'll see. I'll post
Of
it on my
course.
YouTube channel if I ever go.
Oh, you have to. You have to. We got to see it from the POV.
Hmm.
But I want to get a little bit into the meat of this now. This is the thing that I think contributed most to your notoriety back in the day. So you know, we were talking a bit about this, but it was really common back around like 2009, 2010 for these uncopy lock games to get spread, and it was a lot easier to get onto the front page if you were a business minded person, I guess. Um, so I was wondering, like, you had all of this fame when you were young. You know, you had however many hundreds of millions of place visits. Was it?
Hmm.
That was like billions back then. That was kind of the equivalent. So,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering a bit about like how did that affect you growing up? Like going to school, did you have people who were aware of this? Did you kind of brag about it a little bit, maybe? And
People still know my name to this day. It's crazy. Like people will find my YouTube channel and just be like, "Oh, I just thought of you." Hundreds of people do, and
oh yeah. Well, dude, like
it's
anyone
great.
who was on the site back then, it's like your name is engraved into their minds 100%.
I wonder how I can utilize that to my advantage. Somebody told me to use that to my advantage. Like I don't know how. I'm trying to.
Oh, I see. Well, it's nice to see you're still thinking the same way, like very business oriented. How
Oh,
do I
I'm like
turn this
that.
into a
Oh, for sure. I'm
profit, I
always
guess?
thinking like that. Uh-huh. Poke. I wanted to be featured on their YouTube channels. Poke, the one who has 3 million subscribers.
Oh yeah, I saw that video. So, like, would you
Julius
say that's
Coles.
something you learned from Roblox, or do you think you've just always had that mindset?
I think innately, yes, but I think that kind of amplified my abilities. Like hone in on my skills, like graphic design. That's what I used to do. Like advertise the games. Like I would create ads all over the site and run campaigns, and that would get me a lot of people to my games, and it would get on the front page, and I'll make money. Like it was pretty simple. It's like real world.
Yeah, because I mean, there weren't a lot of people doing the things that you were doing back in the day and applying these strategies to work real money out of the website.
Oh yeah,
That's
I'm
really
still
cool
like
to see
that.
that you're kind of still thinking like that. That's not a bad thing at all.
Hmm.
So, you know, I was watching an interview you did, and you were talking a bit about being bullied growing up, mostly because of
Oh
this.
yeah, the
So,
guy
like,
who
what?
that
Go
guy
ahead.
who interviewed me, he stole my identity.
Oh, really? Even
He
wow,
pret-
dude, your circle.
he pretended to be me and got millions of visits, and you know that's cool and all, but like to use my identity and pretend to be me, I don't think is right. And a lot of people did that, which I already told him how I felt. Like I thought it was wrong because my name is my name, That's what
Okay.
that interview.
It's a serious case of identity theft.
And it wasn't just him; it was
Uh,
a few people. So
so would you say growing up there were more consequences from this than big payoffs?
Um, no, I actually don't say that. I don't think that. I think that it helped mold me into who I am in terms of my skill set that I have. And I think it really showed me the business aspect, like the marketing and programming. Like just what you can do by yourself alone is crazy in terms of, creating something like a business or, social networking website or whatever it may be.
Oh, I gotcha. So do you think if you could go back and maybe have a moment or sit down with yourself 10 years ago, you would try and veer yourself away from this? Or do you think you took away
No, go
enough
full
valuable
fledged.
lessons from it?
Go full fledged. Advertise your YouTube channel even more. Get more subscribers. Admit,
You're ruthless.
yeah, admit when credit is should always be given.
Okay.
In any form, in the comments, descriptions, videos, anything.
I gotcha. So I know we're talking a bit about coming back to development. I'm curious, as
hmm
somebody who was around in the earlier years and very present then, how have you seen the site change? And as a result of some of these new systems like Developers Exchange, the plugin marketplace, has your approach to development, or how has your approach to development changed?
Honestly, my approach, I'm recreating it. So I'm taking it gradually. Like I started a studio again on Twitter, so it's Studio Jared. It's a development studio. Um, people who want to join. I'll pay them um, to help me, navigate the difficulties with programming a full-fledged like game. Like that takes a team, especially with the tools that are available on the platform itself now. Yeah,
Okay, so you're trying to get a team around it now.
yeah. There's one guy. One's a modeler, so he like works with Blender and all that, and I need somebody to model the models for the maps because you can model models now. Like that's so phenomenal. That's awesome. You know, you
Okay.
don't have to use like different blocks, which create more space when you could just use a mesh.
Okay. So just to go back a bit, we were talking about, these uncopy lock places and how you kind of rose to the front page. It wasn't uncommon for you to have multiple games on the front page, at any given time, right?
Yes, I had 7 of them at one time. There's a
Oh my
photo of it
gosh.
actually. Each of them had about one had 2,000, one had 1,000, one had 100,000, like you get it. And that was the happiest moment of my life, to be honest.
Oh yeah, 2000 was like, bro, you made it. Like,
Yeah, you,
Just the
you
fact that
admit it
there
this
had
is
you like a
7 of them.
yeah,
celebrity on cloud nine, dude.
Yeah, there were
yeah,
7 of them.
exactly.
So it was just my name was everywhere. And the forum too was like being bombarded with people like, oh my god, like there's 7 of his games on the front page. I was like,
I think I heard you say somewhere that you started out promoting your games just by joining other games and telling people to go play yours. Was that true?
so yeah, I used to. So actually, that Drake Hoon game, the same guy made a Crazy Taint game, and it was basically instead of the egg hatching and the dragon coming out to attack your base, it was just a tank that would explode like this wall, and then it would chase you and explode your buildings and stuff. And so that game became Uncopy Locked. Went into his game, copied it, not copy, like took the Uncopy Locked game, copied it, yes, but then edited it, published it, changed it from a mesh of a tank to like it'd be like an alien or something, and I would rebrand it, tell people to join from his game. Oh, my game's better, has more perks, blah blah blah. And eventually it would be like 50 people, 100, 200,000, 2,000, and that's how I would do it. Like spam the comments, and I would spam the chat also. That was the beginning, yeah.
So, like, how long did it take to get to a point where you were having, 2000 players? And like, what was the moment where it was like, oh, like this is getting real now?
Um, One of the employees reached out basically and was telling me like, "Oh, we're gonna have a DCMA takedown." If you know what that is,
Mm-hmm.
a DCM takedown, whatever, take down the website, and that's when I knew like, wow, like, okay, this is real. Like, I'm making money. They're gonna sue me. Like it was like, wow, this is something that I created.
Yeah.
I
gotcha.
gotcha. What was the next one I wanted to ask? Sorry, 1 second. I got to pull back up my notes here.
You're good.
Falling apart. So, I know you've had some time now to come back and kind of get your footing again and try out some of the other games on the platform. So, like, how do you think it compares now to back in the earlier days? Like, is there anything you liked more about Roblox in like 2010?
I would say the community aspect of it, since it was not so vast,
Yeah.
like a corporation. Like it was more like a startup, and now it's more like corporate structure. It seems, since it is a $2 billion company.
Mm.
Yeah, and in terms of like you mentioned, like the creators like Schletsky, Eric Castle, Bazuki, I think they would interact more with the community. Of course, corporate kind of ruins things in terms of that, so can't really blame them. Yeah, I've actually had people reach out to me and want to have me invest in Roblox stocks, like stocks, and yeah, I don't even think it's public, but they're saying something like that. I don't know if it's a scam, but don't do it.
So people are trying to scam you into sinking money into fake Roblox stocks?
Somebody on LinkedIn, a few of them, they actually reached out like 2 days ago again. They were just like, "Oh, we have some stock options. We're third party or whatever." I don't know if it's real because they look like it's a real company. So
Yeah, that's sus, dude. That's pretty friggin' sus. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, we're a third party, man. Just come buy the stock.
yeah, I didn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole, man. I don't blame you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a risky business.
Yeah.
Well, they could still have $10,000. Like if I give them 5,000, oh, where's my 5,000? And then it's gone.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, I know you have a pretty comprehensive wiki page, but I'm not sure. Maybe we missed something. Like, is there anything we didn't really get to touch on?
So there's 12 games that they said I plagiarized. We didn't go over Julius Cole's. Julius Cole's copied me. Yeah. Sorry, I was just going down the wiki page, kind of trying to.
Yeah. Is there anything like they completely left out? Like any cool insider lore about JAREDVALDEZ that we could get here?
The exploiting. So the scripts, yes, I did a little bit. I did exploit it. I did know how to interject code into a game and steal it into the studio. I was aware how to do that. I taught people how to do it. And I told people on Faceblocks, because they banned me anyway, I told them I had a marketplace of free games. So I ended up having a marketplace so people could get free games. And yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we can all appreciate you being so honest and open about everything.
Yeah.
It was a very long time ago now. It's been what, 8 years, somewhere in that neighborhood?
About 8 to 10 years, yes. I hope to put this behind me. My story is unique and I'm aware of this. So hopefully this kind of articulates and, conveys that story in a very good way, honest way at least.
Well, that's great. We really appreciate you coming on and all this. It's nice to be able to talk with you because it's pretty cool. Like I remember seeing your name everywhere when we were younger, and it's kind of like a nostalgia trip to get to link up with JAREDVALDEZ4.
Yeah. The JAREDVALDEZ4.
Well, it's just weird because I manifested this podcast, whether you guys know it or not. I was actually looking for a podcast to be on, and you guys just reached out. So it was the universe speaking to me. I really believe that. I make YouTube channel. I make YouTube videos. So Jared Valdez, search me on YouTube, and I make YouTube videos.
Yeah, like your Twitter or anything.
Twitter, JAREDVALDEZ4. I just post updates, stupid things about my life. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right, man.
Yeah.
Thanks again for coming on. It was really great talking with you, and
all right.
Hope we catch up again soon. All right. Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Good luck.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.